All right, nation, really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Love's a sin, love's a crime. Love is when you have grief, you ask God for a sign. Baby, my love runs deeper than the sea, keep the picture. My love is gonna get you. You know, that's Jerry Wayne Jones on his son. Yeah, Tony Romo. TR, the love. You know, that's what Jerry Wayne do. He loves to talk about Tony Romo, and everybody, mama, uncle, cousin know that this is going to get back to all of the sports media. He is the only owner that First Take Undisputed talk about, right? Because he's the only owner that does these little quick shows or what have you on 105.3 The Fan and beyond. And they take that stuff and they run with it. Nevertheless, I'm going to play this and then I'm going to give you guys my thoughts, my insights to everything, or my opinion, basically. Let's listen in to
Then he even
Undisputed.
brought up Tony Romo as a quarterback who could make that type of play. So, there's a lot going on here. Shannon, what do you read into Jerry's comments?
Skip, having played the game 14 years, having covered it, this is the one thing I do know about coaches, and they always try, coaches and owners, they always shy away from. Is comparing their players to some other players. Because no matter what you're trying to do, there's a chance that that player might perceive that as a slight. And the one thing that you don't want to happen, you know this very well, Skip Bayless, because you've had a lot of intimate, private conversations behind the scenes when a coach or an owner has said something and the player might have taken it in a way and that maybe the owner or the coach didn't mean it. Correct. So that's why you stay away from comparison. Says, hey, I like the guy that we have, knowing all the way, man, I'd love to have another guy over there instead of the guy I got in my locker room.
What did you always say about your first Pro Bowl when they're asking you what it's like playing with Dan Marino? You don't want to say,
oh, man, he can throw. I got John Elway. Man, hey, I got 7. I'll take 7.
And Shay Sharp is speaking nothing but the truth. Guys, let me know if I'm wrong. If ladies, if you're watching, if you're listening, that's one thing that you do not do. As a fella over here, you can't say, well, my ex used to do it this way. You talking about fighting words or what have you? You know for sure that female is going to be like, what? Okay, well, won't you go back to her then? You know, you guys know how that goes, right? That's the same way with this particular situation as well. Jerry Wayne got to be cognitive enough to know, hey, it's okay to maybe, just maybe compare Dak Prescott, dare I say, to a Mahomes, a Lamar, a Russell Wilson. You know, he called him Russell Thomas earlier in the interview as well. But you guys get what I'm saying, and shout out to the Thomases. Everybody know that's my surname. You know how that thing go. But neither here nor there. Come on, Jerry. You just don't do this. You just don't do this. Let's go.
So, and I think that's the thing that Jerry has to understand. Jerry wants to be honest and I understand that he loves Tony Romo.
Loves
Tony
him.
Romo ain't win you no titles. Now, if you want to say Troy Aikman, Troy Aikman stacked them Lombardis in there.
That's my dog.
But to say, I don't get it, Skip. This love that he has for Tony Romo, when Tony Romo never got him to an NFC Championship game, in all the years he was the quarterback, Dak is only in his 5th year now. So there's still an opportunity for Dak to get him there, but he's never bought in to Dak because maybe Dak does not have the flair for the dramatic that Tony Romo. There's a reason why, Tony Romo would throw 3 picks. Well, if Tony Romo brings me back after throwing 3 picks, hell, that's the least he could have done. He dug the hole that got me in this spot. So at least get me out of it. But Jerry, if Dak is anything like me, he's hearing this and he's saying to himself, this, still don't believe in me. That's why I don't have the contract.
You know what he put in there? You know what? This mother still don't believe in me, And they paid everybody but Dak Prescott. And you expected this brother to say, it's just what it is. Let me prove it to the world that I can play on this stage, which is granted, right? Never doubt a man who want to bet on himself. So it is what it is. But you don't supposed to be able to get out there talking about Jerry and start talking about this stuff. Man, it's crazy in a sense, Cowboy Nation.
It don't have anything else to do with anything about no cap, about this or about that. He doesn't believe that I'm worth this. And he's, Skip, it's not going to end well because Jerry can't keep his mouth closed. It's as simple as that, Skip. He's the owner of the team. He's worth $8 billion. But when you're dealing with players, you have to be careful what you say and how you say it.
Jerry not keeping his mouth closed is nothing new.
No.
Right?
No.
I completely and utterly agree with everything you just said.
True.
The problem in analyzing what Jerry just said on the radio in Dallas, Texas, is it's tricky because it's always a little cryptic. You have to read a little bit between the lines here to get to your takeaway, which I believe is the correct takeaway. The bottom line to this is why he dug in and said, I offer you this. We go back and forth on exactly what it was. You said it was a fair offer, but it wasn't an offer you can't refuse. It was one of those that, okay, it's pretty good.
That's nice. That's a lot of money.
It's pretty good. It's a lot of money.
Paper,
in fact, if it was
coins.
80 guaranteed up at signing,
I mean, Skip, think about it. You go from $2 million a year to $34 million a year.
And I was told it was more 36-ish, but whatever. I was also told they want 40-ish, low 40s per year at only 4 years versus 5. Whatever. For whatever reason, Jerry said, too rich for even my blood. He has a reputation for overpaying his stars, who are all like sons to him. But to Dak's credit, Dak has kept an arm's length from Jerry. And it's probably operating in this quote because I don't think Jerry feels deep, devoted love to Dak because Dak has never reciprocated the love, right?
Skip, I believe, because remember when they were thinking, Dak has always been very receptive to Jason Garrett. I believe when Tony Romo got healthy, Jerry Jones wanted to reinsert Tony Romo into the starting lineup. I believe it was Jason Garrett that fought tooth and nail for Dak Prescott to keep this job.
I believe that.
And Dak Prescott never forgot that. He never forgot the guy that went to bat for him and says, okay, so that's where his loyalty is. And he's always going to Heisman pose Jerry. I don't care if Jerry pays him $60 million. He's going to Heisman pose him because he know deep down if you'd have got your way, you'd have put Tony Romo back into this lineup. Skip, I don't.
Hey, before he elaborate a little bit more into details of that, I don't really blame Jerry Wayne Jones for not thinking of that because think about it. You know, Tony was his guy. So when Tony was sitting on the bench, he was looking at it like, hey, I know for sure I can bring in this veteran guy with experience to help us out in that playoff run. And believe it or not, I was more so thinking the same thing. So I'm not really faulting Jerry Jones for wanting to put Tony Romo in that game, especially in the playoff game against a team that a common known foe. I think it was the Green Bay Packers, right? That Green Bay Packers game. And especially, I know Jerry was probably looking at this thing like, man, they jumped up real heavy on us as it relates to scoring-wise and point-wise, and he will always probably relive that moment in his mind. Nevertheless, that's water under the bridge now. It's gone. Tony Romo's career is over. Regardless of the Tony Romo fans that's out there who are opposed to being a Cowboys fan, because at the end of the day, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan over being just a individual player fan. We got to look at this thing and say, okay, his time expired. 14 years, what he had, 2 playoff wins. That's it. It's over with. We fought tooth and nail for Tony Romo too. I remember, I wish I was on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and beyond before all of this stuff was created, what have you, before he was actually, I guess, gone. Because everybody who know me personally, they would know, man, I fought tooth and nail for Tony Romo. But we got to understand to know that it's over with. It's gone. He's gone. He's broadcasting. Candace Romo loved the fact that he don't have to get beat up, sweaty, beat down, you know. She can sleep good at night. Don't have to worry about her husband taking all of the medications, right? I digress. Let's listen to more what they got to say.
Tony Romo hadn't been his quarterback in how long? And you
long
bring
time.
up Tony Romo?
Somehow Jerry got in his head that Romo was a walk-off wizard.
Yes!
And I got to rack my brain here. Maybe I'm forgetting several.
Denver.
But wait, I got Denver, but he threw one to Witten against the Giants at the buzzer.
Yes, yes.
It was just a turn in at the, like at the goal line, where he just hooked up at the goal line and just walled off the defender and caught it for the touchdown that won the game.
Yes.
Okay, I give you that one. But will I ever get over what happened against Peyton and the Broncos at Jerry World?
No.
Because he threw for what, 506?
Yeah, 506.
506, and you got the ball in your hands late in the game, and you throw it to Trevathan, Danny Trevathan, who wears orange. He's in orange.
And that's the thing. He had this perception that Romo was better than he actually was. He was talking like Romo was Brady, like he was Manning, like he's been Drew Brees. He has not been.
Okay. He did have that extemporaneous gene in him where the play could completely break down. He had some basketball athletic escapability where he could spin out.
Yeah, he heck of a golfer. You play basketball.
He's a point guard.
Yes.
Tony Romo is good.
Really play.
Yes.
Good.
He could spin out of a sack.
Yes.
And, sidearm it 40 yards down the field. A lot of times, Dez was just going up and jumping
and catch it.
Okay, we get that. But
throw up the X
there's
after that, too.
something he sees missing in Dak. So he gave Dak the escape the other day. What Dak did as a, 6'2", 240-ish or so, when he broke free of the sack and kept his balance.
We said it on Monday. How the hell did he get out of that, Skip?
How did he get out of it, and how did he maintain his uprightness? Like he did not fall to the turf. Okay, then he comes up and he doesn't have a great grip on the ball because he almost lost the ball on the turf. So he doesn't have the laces, and he throws a bit of a wobbler. But Jerry is, I'm not going to say condemning him. He's criticizing between the lines.
Basically, said Tony Romo would have thrown it. He got it, would have caught it.
And Dak Prescott did a similar play like this before. You guys remember against the Texans, he kind of like almost got sacked by J.J. Watt, and he spanned out of it, and he was able to look down the field and find Big Tay down the field, and he threw the ball to Big Tay. You guys remember that? So it's not like Dak Prescott never did these type of plays before. It's just that this ended in a real crazy way. It was a Hail Mary. You only had 19 to 20 seconds left on the clock, and he was thinking to get the ball out the way. Now, to me personally, could he taken a sack? No, you had to really get everybody up and to get the ball off within 20 seconds. And the way he was going to take that sack there, maybe you have another 1 second at it. But let's be real with it. Wasn't nobody open on that play. Could he haul off and ran? Maybe. It was some turf. It was some greenery in front of him. Maybe he could have tucked it and ran or what have you. But it was 3rd and 14, so I don't think that he were to get the first down. Maybe he can creep up a little bit closer. But look, Cowboy Nation, for us to analyze this week 3 going into week 4, come on. And trust me, I love Dak Prescott, but at the same time, we can't just be sitting here saying, hey, if this was Tony Romo, such and such would have happened. We would never know if he would have survived and lived beyond the L.A. Rams game. The way Aaron Donald was busting up through there. We don't know if he were to survive the Atlanta Falcons game. The way Grady Jarrett was coming up inside, and busting through everybody. We don't know. We don't know if he would survive even if we were to put him back into the football game any of these years when the offensive line caved in. The last time this offensive line been healthy was 2016. That's the craziest part of it all. That's a long time from now, right? So this offensive line had a lot of warts and stuff like that for a minute now. Let's be real with it, Cowboy Nation, but let's listen to more what they got to say.
Like he's saying that Dak couldn't come up and find somebody. I didn't really see anybody who was open. I saw more Seattle.
If I'm not mistaken, Skip, it was 3rd and 14, and it's 20 seconds. So so Dak's like, let me heave this to the end zone because you have no more timeouts. If you catch the ball in bounds, the game is over.
No, do or die.
So Dak says, I got to get the ball to the end zone.
But Jerry's suggesting that Russell Wilson or Tony Romo would have found a jersey that they could have thrown it to, a blue jersey, or, like found a Cowboy jersey, right? Or Russell would have found a Seahawks.
Yeah.
Okay, well, he's a wizard, but Romo, not a wizard.
Right.
I'm not buying that. Romo would be just as likely to throw a pick six going the other way.
Romo probably would have fumbled. But see, that's the thing, Skip. All he does is look at Romo's crowning moments. Yeah, he never looked at Romo bobbling the snap that would have beat them in Seattle with a walk-off field goal. He never mentioned that. He never mentions the more times that Romo has failed.
What did I call him half the time? Tony Uh-oh?
Yes.
Tony Uh-oh.
Yes.
Look out.
So, but
disaster.
Y'all leave Romo alone, man.
Tony Romo won every game that he was a part of. And that he thinks, I think he's getting it confused with Romo and Aikman. It was Aikman that stacked those 3 Super Bowls, not Romo. But he has this fascination. Maybe he's like a son because he said that's like his son. And he treats him like Steven, like Jerry Jr., like Charlotte, like he's one of his kids.
He does. I would agree. So I think he's looking at Dak somewhat.
Hey, before he go into his point there, I got to say this again. I think that there was numerous times of win or go home type of games. You know, it was 8-8, 8-8, 3 consecutive years in a row. And all we had to do is just win one more game. And we laid a lot of eggs. We did. Not saying that the team collectively had the same amount of talent, but we can point back if one thing that was consistent during that time frame was Jason Garrett, right? So for us to go through all of those years with Jason Garrett, it tarnished a lot of things. So we just don't know. Now this year, what we 1-2 right now. So it could be a situation where it's a first coach for the Dallas Cowboys, because this is Mike McCarthy's first time coaching here, and due to the pandemic and the COVID and all of this stuff, maybe, just maybe, we may see some regressions. But I'm thinking that if we can patch up a few things, that this team will be a whole lot different than the Jason Garrett's administration. But we got to at least see this thing through. We got to at least play this out before we can make that judgment. We going into week 4, baby. So we can't really put a bow tie on this team and say, oh, this is what this team is about. 7-9 or 8-8 or 6-10. I don't think that that's the case in the scenario. And as poor as this division is, this team got a lot of upsides. Because at one thing, we can look at this team and say, easily it could have been 3-0. In the same breath, yes, we can be 0-3. But I'm thinking that with the coaching philosophy and the players that's picking up this stuff, maybe down the line, if we can just patch up a few things, man, this thing can turn around real quick. It can. It can flat out turn around real quick.
What the way you view him as empty calories. Because Dak, again, last year, 2019, he led the NFL in second half passing. Well, heck, the offense led the NFL in yards gained.
Right.
Okay? So he is a high-level statistical producer.
Right.
But they went 8-8.
Right.
Because too often, as you know, last year, we had too many of these same kind of games. I keep watching the same movie where he puts on like an extraordinary second-half passing clinic against Atlanta. They pulled it off. They shouldn't have. It was a miracle. They didn't deserve it, but they won. Against the Rams, I thought he had pulled it off because I did not think that was offensive pass interference. So I give Dak that one. But then the other day, it becomes do or die, and he comes up and just heaves it in the end zone. Well, some of that's just pure luck.
Well, Jared might have to pull a Philip Drummond and may have to adopt Dak Prescott and start treating him like a son and get some results that he wants to. But Skip,
maybe.
But if you look at this, Jared makes it seem like he's giving Dak more talent than he's giving Romo. Does he realize that he gave Romo T.O.? Does he realize that he had Jason Witten in his absolute prime?
He did.
And he had an offensive line that could run.
And he had Des Bryant at his apex.
And he had Marion Barber. He had guys that could run. DeMarco Murray, a dominant offensive line that was young and dominant. And you look at the defense with DeMarcus Ware and those guys that he had over there, Greg Ellis. The Cowboys have always had talent, and they've underachieved even under Romo. Now, all of a sudden, Jerry perceives that they're vastly underachieving because of the quarterback. Jerry, your defense is terrible.
Terrible.
Tony Romo was 13-3 with a week off for a home playoff game. And Eli went in there and just did a number on him.
Skip.
Breaks.
So, Jerry, Skip, I just don't understand the fascination that Jerry has with Romo, like he just won him like Brady, like won him all these Lombardis.
Final
they
takeaway.
won 2 playoff games,
I know,
Tony.
That's right. Final takeaway, This is not going to end well.
It's not going to end well. I think that, just to make everything understandable for everybody, I think that Dak Prescott may be his last year. I really think that this should be a situation where it's offseason. If these little small jabs keep coming back and forth and the love and adulation is not there, this may be Dak Prescott last year with the Cowboys. If we don't win, if we don't go to the playoff, if we don't win the Super Bowl, I think it's literally Super Bowl or bust. If Dak Prescott do not win the Super Bowl, this will be his last year. I really do believe, because even for the sanity for Dak Prescott, I just think a breath of fresh air, going to a different team will probably be the best way. And the Dallas Cowboys go through the other warts of just going through the process of drafting another quarterback or getting another quarterback in here. And that's just how it goes. I wish I can find ways where I can see where this organization care about the Dak Prescott. But name me another organization that treat their franchise quarterback like this. Name me the other organization that won, a quarterback that won all of these games, right? And I know that he's not technically winning the games because, it's a team concept. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? Name me the other organization that treated their quarterback like this. Normally, the quarterback get the meal served and everything served first. They eat first. It's like the father of the house. When it's time for me to eat, I eat first. I get my plate served to me first. I'm the king of this castle, right? So I don't think he's getting served last. He's at the kids' table right now. Of course, he's getting his what you call that little thing, the franchise tag money, the 1 year groove. But you can't go to the bank with that. He get a bum shoulder or he snap his leg, it's over. They're gonna rush in the other guy, Andy Dalton. And if something happened to him, they're going to do something else. You know how it goes, Cowboy Nation. Let's not be foolish and let's not lie to kick it. Let's be real with this situation. Dak Prescott is not trusted by Jerry Wayne. Or he don't believe in him all the way. It's like you still got to prove it to me. It's like you got a girl and you're saying, hey, my ex was doing it a little bit better. She used to do it this way. Oh, man, I remember when she did it that way. And she's right there, That's the reality of it. That's the only analogy that I can use. And yes, Dak Prescott is polished in a sense. He's very clean-cut guy, not going to say the wrong things. But collectively speaking, they don't trust that brother as far as they can throw him. They don't. As far as the offense versus the defense been a woes for the Cowboys for many a moons. Even back in 2014, we really didn't show up that defense. We had a guy like Orlando Scandrick out there, still looking for the ball. We had Aaron Rodgers on one leg. We couldn't stop him, regardless of the dead catch, no catch. And then in 2016, the defense was gone. Couldn't get pressure on Aaron Rodgers then. Couldn't buy interceptions. Couldn't buy turnovers and takeaways. Even when we did it, they called them back, right? Oh, my goodness. And then when the crucial moments when it needed to happen, Aaron Rodgers make a miracle throw. Oh, let's go to 2018. Couldn't stop the run. Like a major cut on an artery. Couldn't stop the bleeding. Bled to death. Defense couldn't do a thing. That's a constant pattern with this team. I come here to tell people, what if I told you like Ripley's Believe It or Not? If I can say to yourself, hey, you're going to have an offense that's going to give you 30 to 35 points, but you're going to lose. You're going to have a quarterback to throw 450 yards north 2 consecutive games, but you still don't have the ability to win. Oh, count how many turnovers and takeaways we got. Oh, wait. Allergic to those things. But we will go back and forth with the offensive side of the ball. You put this offense on what? Let's say the Legion of Boom defense. What our record would be. You put this offense on the 2000 Ravens any of the years between 2000 and probably 1 to 2004 Patriots defense, what would this record be, right? Teams that can get turnovers and takeaways. If you put this type of offense on a defense that can take the ball away, what kind of team will this team be? Oh, I want you guys to help me out because I definitely don't know this. This is on the fly before I roll up out of here. Go back for the last 10 Super Bowls won. Name me the defensive backs that play for those teams, whether it be safety or cornerback. Let me know of the common pattern. If you want to use more years, let's go back 15 years, right? On the team that won the Super Bowl or even the team that made it to the Super Bowl that lost. Let me know if they're getting blown and missing assignments. Let me know who they had. You don't have to name the full list. Just name one of the players. And you'll see the common trend. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. When I look at it, I think that Jerry Wayne Jones, he's not really putting Dak Prescott under the bus. He's probably putting him a little bit in front of the bus, right? And the bus is coming downhill by using the comparison and not really filling in the context right. And maybe we can just blame it on the fact that Jerry Wayne is long in the tooth. That tooth is long now. That's a long tooth. He can't eat corn. That tooth's so long, it could be missing if he does. If you bite into an apple, it's gone. So that's just how it goes, Cowboy Nation. But post me your thoughts, post me your concerns down below. And do that assignment for me if you so desire. And hit that subscribe button, share this content, let that friend, neighbor, foe know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboy Sports Talk and beyond. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Peace.